Good morning, Bulldogs. I'm Justice.
And I'm Cassie. And this is KAHS News.
Here's Catalina interviewing seniors about college.
Hey guys, I'm Catalina, and I polled some of our seniors to ask what college they were going to and what are the perks of going to that school. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Megan Riley. I'm committed to the University of Oklahoma to play soccer. I chose Oklahoma because it feels like home, yet it's still far away, as well as just to expand my horizon and gain responsibility for myself.
My name is Grace. I got accepted into A&M Corpus Christi, and I chose to stay in-state because it's closest to home, but it's also like on its own island, so the beach is there and it's like my happy place. So.
My name is Alex Mejia, and I committed to play soccer at Finlandia University in Michigan. I chose Finlandia because I like the integrity of the program, and it seemed like a really good team to go to. I like the head coaches.
My name is Chelsea. I got accepted to U of H. I chose U of H because it's cheaper in state than going out of state, and I really love the campus, and it was my #1 choice. So.
This last week, we lost a well-respected First Lady, Barbara Bush.
Barbara Bush, in your memoir, you talk about faith, family, and friends. We've talked about friends, we've talked about family. What about your faith?
It's very private, and I'm a huge believer in a loving God. I pray, George and I pray every night out loud, and sometimes we fight over whose turn it is, but we do. And I have no fear of death, which is a huge comfort because we're getting darn close. And I don't have a fear of death for my precious George or for myself, because I know that there is a great God, and I'm not worried about that. I don't like it for young people, but I know we'll see Robin again, one way or another, and our families. So I have no fear of death. I have a great faith.
Former First Lady Barbara Bush, the second woman in U.S. history to be a wife and mother of a U.S. president, has died at the age of 92. Her death on Tuesday, April 17th, was announced by the office of her husband.
So I want to offer a new legend. The winner of the hoop race will be the first to realize her dream, not society's dreams, her own personal dream. And who knows? Somewhere out in this audience may even be someone who will one day follow in my footsteps and preside over the White House as the president's spouse. And I wish him well.
During the tenure as the nation's First Lady, Mrs. Bush, the mother of 6 children, was a champion for global literacy and continued the work after she and her husband left the White House. In 1989, she formed the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy, which encourages parents to read to their children. In a statement, her son, former President George W. Bush, called his mother a fabulous First Lady and a woman unlike any other.
The Walkout Thursday was to recognize the students who perished in school shootings and to promote school safety.
We had a great turnout. Speaking of turnout, let's turn up. Prom season is right around the corner. Here's Apal with some advice.
Hi Bulldogs, my name is Apal, and I am going to be helping you with some prom tips. So first and foremost, the most important one is to make appointments for everything. Make sure you have plans for dinner, reservations, especially because you're most likely going to go in a big group of people, and there's most likely going to be other people coming to that specific restaurant that you're going to, so just make sure that you have a table and you're not just standing in line waiting or something like that. Hair, makeup, nails. Girls, make sure you have everything ahead of time, because I personally know that Sephora in First Colony is already booked. Make sure you have something just in case you can't find a place to do your makeup. You can probably ask a friend or someone that you know that knows makeup or something like that, or hair or nails. We have a lot of talented people in the school that I'm sure they'll be willing to help you. If you have any appointments, make sure your appointments are not clashing. You do have to keep in mind that hair takes a while, makeup takes a while, especially nails. So make sure the appointments have enough time between them. If you're going with a group, make sure you know what you're doing after. Where are you going? What's the plan? Are you staying at a hotel? Are you staying in an Airbnb? Going back to your house? Whatever it is, make sure you know your plan. And you don't just go out of prom and you're like, oh, well, what do we do now? You have to have a plan, and you have to make sure it's ready ahead of time. Please tell your parents what you're doing, involve them, let them know, text them once in a while, be like, hey, mom and dad, I'm okay, we're going to this, we're out of prom, we just got there. Whatever it is, make sure your parents are involved and they know what's happening, so they're not just worried, and hopefully not calling the police, making sure that you're safe and sound. And last but not least, have fun. This is your almost last memory. I mean, graduation is probably the last one. This is almost your last one with all your friends, and just have fun and enjoy it. Have as much fun as you can, but stay safe.
That's all for today.
Have a great Tuesday, Bulldogs.
Today we are participating in a school-wide walkout to honor the victims that passed away in the recent attacks of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14, 2018. Today we mourn the loss of 17 people, 17 precious lives. Today we fight for what could have been preventable. Today we take a stand against gun violence. Because a school zone is not a war zone. We don't expect school to be the place we fear most. Neither did the students and faculty of Parkland. They didn't expect that one day their lives would never be the same. That one day one spiteful man would come and shoot up a school and kill innocent human beings who had lives to live, futures to pursue, people to be. Tomorrow marks the 19th anniversary of the Columbine shootings, where 13 people lost their lives at the hand of 2 merciless killers. So today, we have 17 speeches dedicated to the 17 victims of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. Aaron Feist, assistant coach and security guard of Stoneman Douglas High School, shielded 3 girls from a gunfire. A man that put himself first in order to ensure the safety of other people is the definition of a true hero. A man that sacrificed his own life for the lives of 3 others is the definition of a true hero. Spokeswoman Dennis Lethio gave a statement remark regarding Mr. Feist. He died the same way he lived. He put himself second. Lethio said he was a very kind soul, a very nice man. He died a hero. One of the 17 victims, Aaron Feist, represents the strength in society that we strive to see. Our next victim, Peter Wang, just 15 years old, was another victim of the Parkland shooting. A dedicated member and leader of the Stoneman Douglas JROTC, Wang was known by his peers for his kindness, bravery, and overall for being a great friend. Sadly, he died trying to save his classmates. He was last seen holding the door for people to evacuate the building at the time of the shooting. His cousin, Aaron Chen, spoke upon the loss of not only a family member, but a dear friend. I have a message for the families that also lost someone that day. You are not alone, he said. We are not going to let this happen to anyone, anywhere. Not again. Not ever again. That's what Peter stood for. Truthfully, Peter Wang was too young to die. He dreamed of attending West Point Military Academy. In commemoration and respect of his empowering acts of selflessness, West Point admitted Peter Wang after his death. Although Peter will not get to pursue his dreams in person, we can help fight to keep the dreams and hopes like Peter's alive, fighting for the rights of children and that a child's life, a person's life, is greater than any assault rifle, any gun.
The fact that a sentence talking about children killed in school should even be spoken is beyond wrong. But that is why we are here today. No student should have to worry about whether or not they'll make it to the end of the school day alive. And I've chosen to use my time to talk about how to change that. The most important thing is to pay attention. Realize what is happening, watch the news, stay up to date on politics, and do your own research. Download apps that send you notifications and talk about recent events. Make your own opinions and register to vote when you turn 18. Only 60% of registered voters voted in the 2016 presidential election, and that was the highest amount recorded in history. Vote in the primaries and then again in November, and be aware that local elections are just as important, if not more important, than presidential ones. When you find out who your representatives are, email them and call them. Let them know that you disagree with the choices they are making, because they represent you. Every vote matters and every voice matters. Enough has been enough for a long time now, and we won't be silenced anymore.
Okay. Craig Hickson, Gina Montalto, and Alex Schoster were also victims of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas school shootings. Some of you might be thinking, what happened in Parkland was in February, so why are we doing this now? Or, it didn't happen to us, so why walk out? So first, there's never an appropriate time to stand up to issues like gun violence that don't resonate with you, especially when nothing has been done. As a youth, it's important to know that our voices matter, no matter how insignificant you might think sticking up for what you believe in is. There's always someone in the background who didn't have the drive to do it, rooting you on. Let yourself be a leader. Second, we're doing this in Fort Bend because we want to show resolve. We want our senators to know that even though it hasn't happened to us yet, our lives aren't worth 3 cents. That we can stop the distributing of guns in exchange for business. Now, I can't undo the Second Amendment, but I know that if you're going to have guns, handle your guns. This goes for school shootings and especially for police officers. Black Lives Matter, and although the movement isn't as heavily related, gun violence is gun violence nonetheless. Politicians have talked about increasing the presence of police officers in schools and simultaneously militarizing them as a solution to school shootings. But they forget that this won't make black students feel any safer. For some, shootings happen as an everyday occurrence and as an everyday fear. So why is the automatic response to pull out a gun when a black person shows up? How is it possible that Nicholas Cruz walked out alive while Philando Castile was shot multiple times, while Eric Garner, Danny Ray Thomas, Stephen Clark, Alton Sterling, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, and countless others simply exist and are seen as a threat? Guns in the hands of those responsible alone aren't safe, and to allow their access to anyone makes it distasteful. So how can we change this? Protest. Vote them out. Natalie Shipley, Connor Cleveland, myself, and 2 other students from other schools in Fort Bend ISD are doing an event where you can learn about how to get your voice heard and how to vote in the little elections. Kitty Hall Park this Sunday at 1. Be there. We'll be talking about how you can contact local legislators and actively go about change. You're never too young to use your voice.
Now, I will be talking to you all about Jaime Guttenberg. She was only 14 years old when the bullets from Nicholas Cruz's AR-15 ripped through her mercilessly. Jaime's father described her as silly, funny, energetic. She used to hang out with her neighbor, who had Asperger's syndrome and was always a friend to her. Jaime's father, Fred Guttenberg, is now an outspoken advocate against the NRA. Mr. Guttenberg lost his daughter when she was only 14. No parents deserve that. He wants to make sure that tragedies like this will never happen again. Imagine if we were in a school shooting, God forbid, and our parents found out that we were all dead later on in the day. How would they feel? How would you feel if you were a parent? May Jaime Guttenberg rest in peace. Thank you.
So to start, if you didn't know, I was the student organizer for this school for March for Our Lives. And we brought up issues such as Black Lives Matter, and we also had a 5th grader talk. The fact that a 5th grader was literally shaking as he spoke to all these people in Houston of how scared he is to go to school is devastating. I have 2 younger brothers that are in elementary school, and to know that they have to go being afraid of possibly dying to get an education is terrifying. So I'm going to mention 2 people from Parkland. First, I'm going to start with Scott Beagle. Mr. Beagle was a geography teacher, a school cross-country coach, a counselor, a son, a brother, a man who was soon to be married, and a hero from Douglas High School. 35-year-old Scott was shot and killed with an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle after unlocking his classroom door to save other students' lives and shielding them from gunfire. Now I'm going to talk about 14-year-old Martin. Martin was one of 6 14-year-old students that were killed that day on February 14th. He was an active member of JORTC, who is no longer with his father, mother, and 4 siblings. He was last of the victims to be buried, and at his memorial service he was honored with the Medal of Heroism for helping students find shelter before he was shot and killed. Now, if you don't know about these price tags that we're wearing, March for Our Lives conducted calculations for each, I don't need them anymore, for each, so they calculated how much money the NRA makes, oh my God, how much money the politicians get from the NRA. So if you calculate that all together, everyone in Texas, all the students in Texas, are worth 3 cents. My graduating class, if you calculate all that money together, all 546 of us are worth $163.08. An AR-15 is $1,200. It took me a while to process that, and knowing that this is still okay and that this is still allowed and that military-grade weapons are allowed in the public is ridiculous. And I'm not going to stop until something's done about it, and I hope you can join me. Thank you.
Today we walked out to mourn the dead. Today's non-partition walkout served as a memorial and an opportunity to raise our voices in support of school safety. We were born in the shadows of Columbine, and when we were in elementary and middle school, 26 students and staff were killed at Sandy Hook. At that time, people said something needed to change. This could never happen again. Now we are all in high school, and people still spread the same message. But not enough has been done to bring an end to these violent attacks on school. This has led us students to decide that we have to take it upon ourselves to speak up. And the message is enough is enough. We need to be safe in school, and the lives that we lost should still be with us today.
Some people, some schools, the sound of a gunshot is nothing out of the ordinary. The movement against gun violence and gun control has not just begun. It has been a constant, never-ending battle for years. Movements such as Black Lives Matter have been addressing gun violence to the murders such as Trayvon Martin in 2012. And with that change, we demand it be made for everyone. Because everyone deserves to go to school safe and free from harm. Do not let this movement die among us. Do not let it be forgotten, because you never know who will be next. You never know who will lose their life at the cost of an AR-15. The people of Parkland did not expect Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School to be attacked by a former student, or rather anyone for that matter. To them, one normal school day became the last day for 17 people. It is time for us to raise our voices and empower our opinions, our beliefs, because every single voice, every single person standing out here today can make a difference. What we want is for our legislators to change the law regarding the accessibility of military weapons and assault rifles. No 18, no 19-year-old kid or person should be able to pick up a gun and shoot up a school, a workplace, anywhere for that matter. And you can be the change. As Malala Yousafzai once said, when the world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. Truly, if one voice can be so powerful, then think how empowering a group of voices can be. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all had a wonderful day.